Okay, so this is the men's 200-meter butterfly long course at the 2025 Toronto Grand Prix. We're looking at lane 7 here. This is Elim Yang. We're going to watch the whole race, Elim, and then we'll go through a little bit of analysis. All right, nice. Coming back to the start, let's take a look at your position of the blocks. Looking pretty nice, looking like a 90-degree angle on that back foot, which is what we want. Looking like you're very forward, which is also great. Let's go frame by frame. Let's see what reacts first. We're looking for movement on that back leg. A little bit of a settling back by the looks of it, rather than any... I'm panning right. I'm expecting go has occurred. You can see a bit of a muscling going on, a flexion going on down our lat, in our shoulders, rather than anything firing on our front leg. All right, let's try and reorganize that order of operations from a tension at the top to a press at the back. There we go, the back leg is firing. Good extension. Good extension. Looking a little bit like you're falling into the water through the rest of that though, but overall a pretty nice dive. Very easy underwater. That last kick was kind of missing from the breakout. You kind of just let your arms do all the work by themselves. Our legs are always stronger than our arms, so never leave our arms alone, especially when it comes to butterfly, which is the most exhausting stroke. Maybe, 200 backstroke also sucks, but looking great on this first 50. Looking pretty darn good. Maybe a little bit shortening up coming into the wall. Those last two strokes we definitely want to get rid of, right? We want to be maintaining distance per stroke constantly. Like stroke, one more stroke, and glide into the wall, rather than taking two small strokes. Great job. This is looking very good. You are just rolling through this. This looks like you could do it forever. I think you're slowing down coming to the wall because you know about hitting the wall. Short, short, short. Last 3 strokes were all short. You had this great, awesome thing you were doing, and then you purposely kind of hamstrung yourself, right? Make sure we're driving into the wall all the way. We don't want to make a 50-meter long course pool actually a 40-meter long course pool with a 10-meter slowdown zone, right? There's no school crossing zone that we're worried about. We're trying to hit the wall and just not break a hand. Hard from this perspective, but again, I think we're seeing that shortening up of the stroke coming into that wall. Something to note, now you manage it pretty well, but ideally the first couple of strokes of every length, we're not breathing. Breathing gets in the way of the rest of our stroke, and so it's not an ideal. If we could get 3 strokes that are close to perfect or as close to as good as we can make them, I'd rather set ourselves up for success at the start of every length, doing it that way rather than starting with some breathing strokes. Overall, very nice finish. Something to note a little bit there. Checking our arms coming around, it looks like you're immediately dropping our elbow in the stroke. Right, like our elbow almost looks a bit low there. We don't look like we're ready to get up and over the hump of the water and then power through with a high elbow pull. We look like we're kind of throwing our arms forwards, almost in a dropped elbow position, albeit a straight arm drop elbow, and then sort of just shooshing our arms through the water, right? You're just kind of like raw, like rowing through the water. I'd rather you get your hold, right? We have, much earlier in the swim, a very nice hold. You're clearly diving in, and we can see, like especially on that last stroke. Let's see if we can see it again. Like you're clearly pushing off the water. Your hold is very different here than it is here. You can see you're skipping through the water. You can see those frames where we're down here, and you're just kind of sliding off the water there. And you managed to fit 3 strokes in the last, 3 meters, whereas before I'm expecting you're probably doing 2 strokes in 3 meters. So you're seeing a 50% increase in strokes for the same distance. It's kind of the definition of inefficiency, right? The way we start and the way we finish things often determines how well we do at a thing, right? So really nicely swim, I'd say, overall, but nice things to work on as well, okay? Great.